Hi guys, and welcome back. Good to see you. What we're going to do this video is do a bit of ground cover, starting on the fun stuff, make the scenery start to pop a bit on the layout. If you remember from the last video, we'd made the hill with the plaster bandage on top of the foam and a bit of the not sculptor mould, but mould a scene. That's the one from Woodland Scenics. We made that bit of paint on top. So what we're going to do this time is now going to put some ground cover on, start with a bit of grass and things like that. So to build up to that, we want to do this in different layers because it's not just one blanket of the same green grass. We're going to try and add a bit of different texture and colours, blend it together to make it look a bit sort of, at least a bit natural. Before I put the grass on is put some basic ground cover on over the sculptor scene and paint and stuff that we've already done. I was going to sort of just, in my mind's eye, sort of a sandy colour, but I don't have that sort of colour turf to put down, scatter about, to make the initial layer that we're going to put all the other stuff on top of. What I do have though is this Woodland Scenics soil. Now it's very dark, and it's darker really than I want. So what I've got put in this little tub here is some soil, and I blended in some powders. I've got some white, a bit of dark earth, some more slightly different dark earth from a different manufacturer, and a bit of rust colour, and I've just mixed it in there in the pot. I'll show you in a minute the difference between the original and other colours. All you've got to remember is, because this has got the powders in, every time I touch this it's going to cake to my finger, and anything I then touch is going to be plastered in the powders. So we've got to remember, if you do this, adjust the colour with a bit of powder. Don't touch anything until you've washed your hands afterwards. This stuff, as it is out the packet, no colouring, you know, it doesn't transfer colour to your fingers or anything. So that stuff doesn't matter. But if you do add powders to try and change the tone a little bit, you've got to be aware that that is the case on your sticky mitts. Initially we're going to just use some ordinary PVA wood glue, hopefully not too quick a drying, and it's just going to be a general coating of that, which we sprinkle this stuff on. And with that brown soil colours, I've got a couple of different other bits I'm going to stick in here. A bit of green, blended turf and fine turf, weeds, and this one is just green blend. So we're just going to go from one bit to the other and just vary the tones slightly. So I'll just adjust the camera here, and I'll show you the difference between the soil and the colour that it's mixed. Hopefully you'll be able to see it on this camera here. So it's quite a close up, but that is the colour I've blended it to. And if I just sprinkle a bit of the original on top, you'll see the slight different colour. So if I just go, so there you can see the two different colours from the original and to what I've just mixed it to. I just wanted it a bit lighter, but there we go. That's all I've done. Added that bit of powder, mixed it up with my finger, and then washed my hands. What I have in my mind's eye is trees up the top and then weeds and things along the front here. So this area here I'm going to concentrate more with the earth, and along the front more with the greens. There'll be a bit of crossing over and blending in together, but that is the ultimate goal. So slurp of my cup of tea, because you can't have too much tea. I'm going to literally just liberally brush on a load of this PVA glue. I'm not going to do the whole hill in one go. I'm just going to And because there's going to be several layers of this stuff, it doesn't matter if we get it all in first attempt. And if we miss a bit, it's all good. It's all natural. So just going to brush up towards the back edge there. I reckon probably down about there with this glue. Spread it. Oh no, we go a bit further. You've got to remember. It's going to soak up some of the glue as well. So we don't want to go too mad, and drying time here in Australia is quite quick, as you'd expect. We'll just take it to there. Down to the ground. I think it's all nice and sticky. Simple as. So we'll now just get some of this earth and we'll just put them on high.
Spread it around.
And now we'll go with the, I reckon, darker green. And just add a fine dusting. And then the lightest green. That's the first stage done. I'm just going to Stick that around a bit to bring some of that soil through. I've gone a bit heavy with the green. And that looks a lot more blended. So we've got some of the original soil colour coming through from underneath. We got the browns that we added, and then the different green variations. So I've not really swept, it's more of a just dabbing gently, and it just lifts it off the top. So what we now have to do is secure that all in place. So I'm going to get my alcohol in a mister, we'll spray that and then put some glue on top just to hold it all in place. But first, clean the hands. Firstly, I've got some isopropyl alcohol and with a little bit of water mixed into a spray bottle, which I'm going to mist on first. Try and do it as far away as possible. Even this stuff does get blown around a bit. And then I'm going to come along with my scenic cement and run it in there. And this will secure all of this in without washing too much of it off. Ready for some more scenic on top. And the isopropyl alcohol just helps this glue mix to soak in. And now we can leave that to dry. And if by magic, it's another day. As you can tell, different t-shirt on. The embankment is now all dry, so what we're going to do is move on to adding some more textures. That is just the basic ground cover, the flock. We now got out the trusty static grass applicator, some scenic cement, and I've got a few different colours of static grass fibres, which I'm going to mix up in various degrees as we sprinkle on through each little element. As we are TT120, I'm only using the shorter grasses that I've got. This is the longest one I'm going to use, which is 4mm, which is quite tall and thick in real life. If you consider 120 times that, that's quite long grass. So that's as big as I'm going to get. And we're going to start with quite a bit of green, bright green. This one's by Fowler, so I'm going to add just a little bit in here. I've got new batteries in the static stand up. I've got new batteries in the static grass applicator, so I've got a real good zap when you touch the old negative onto the screen to earth it out. So we're just going to pour in a little bit there. Oh, that's quite a bit of grass. We'll just add different colours to it as we go, and a bag of unknown quantity, but it's slightly darker, so we'll tone it down a little bit. if I can open it without throwing it everywhere. Just a little bit of that, and I'll put in, I'll not put this in yet, but I'll just put in this Pico static grass, and this one is just autumn grass. And as I go through the different tufts, then I'm going to start add a bit more of this and a bit less of the bright green and then a bit of the brown. Open the bag. And what I'm not going to do is blanket the whole lot in the same grass. We're going to do it in tufts. What I noticed from this Pico stuff, it's clumped up into balls. I've got to break that up. I'll put that in there. Hopefully it will come out when I want to put it on the ground. Just blend that in there. That'll do for that. Got a rather large amount there. And I'm just going to mix that up with the palette knife just to break up those large lumps a bit as well. Hopefully they'll break up as I go through the sieve. So it's a bit random. It's not all the same, which is a bit sort of what we want. We're not going for a lawn. So mix different tones. We're ready. So I'll now adjust your camera angle and we'll zoom in. So what I'm going to do again is use the scenic cement and my pipette. And what I'm going to do is, because I want it random, it's just trip it about. And just dribble, 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 dribble. So it's patchy. I'm not going too much into the dark area at the top where I'm going to have trees, but around the edge and on the banks and things. What we'll do down to this area here. And we'll now, okay, we're just going to randomly just sprinkle on. And zip. So I'm now going to continue along the rest of the embankment along the back here, and then we'll go on to the next stage. What we've now got to do, we've got to suck up all the loose off the top. I'm going to use my vacuum cleaner, and I've got this very fine mesh bag which I'm going to stick in the end, all the fibres before they go right into the vacuum cleaner. So we'll make sure there's a little pocket for them to go into. suck it off. We filled up the end. I'll just catch that. Remove that. And I have here a tub of mixed fibres, and we'll just add that to there. Waste not, want not. And as you can see, we have a nicely random finish on the patches of grass. So now we've got the first bits of brighter green grass. Now it's not as bright as it looks on the camera, but it's all randomly patched, so we'll let this dry off, give it an hour or so in the room here, and then we'll do another shade. Back shortly. We've got the previous mix, there's still some in there, and I'm just going to darken that down by adding some more of the darker tones. So we'll add a bit more of this stuff. And then the 4mm darker stuff as well. Add some more of that. Oh, I'm making a mess. And I'm going to add in this piece also a little sprinkling of that colour. I'll give that a mix around. So that's a bit paler. I might add a bit more of the whiter stuff of the straw. I'll just stand there, please. Stand. Add a bit more of the straw. Got quite a bit in there now. Yeah. So that's a nice different tone. What I've mixed up this time is like a third water to 2/3 of PVA rather than the scenic cement, because I don't want it too runny this time. So we just take a little bit of that, and again we'll just go splodge, splodge, splodge. And spread it about. And now again we'll just go around and sprinkle on. I'll carry on down the other end and then we'll do another vacuum job. So having passed over with 3 different mixes of the static grass, and this is the effect we get. So it's very dappled. The dark green patches are what we did in the first part of the video, and now obviously with different blends of greens it gives you different textures and colours. So we're now ready to start adding bushes and shrubs and weeds and things like that. There we go guys, we'll call that it for this video, and we'll start adding bushes and shrubs and weeds and things. I'm still trying to work out how to do a fence because I can't find anything that's going to be available quickly. So I might not have a fence and we'll just go from weedy bank up to trees at the top without a fence. But I'll see what I can work out before the next video. So any questions and all the usual stuff, comments and likes below, and I'll see you on the next one. Catch you later. Bye for now.